There's a secret arms race happening right now. It isn't being fought with jets or tanks, but with mathematics and physics so advanced, it feels almost alien. The prize isn't land or resources. It's control over the most valuable commodity of the 21st century. Every part of our modern lives, from the global financial system to our most private conversations, is protected by a digital shield. We've built our entire world on a fortress of encryption we believe is unbreakable. But a new kind of machine is emerging from the strange world of quantum physics. A machine that threatens to turn that fortress to dust, to shatter the shield, and to expose every secret we've ever tried to keep. This isn't science fiction. This is the story of the coming quantum threat, a computational monster that's learning to pick the unpickable locks that protect our civilization, and the countdown to its arrival has already begun. Think about the lock on your front door. Now, imagine a key that could open not just your door, but every single door in your city, your country, and the world all at the same time. This is what quantum computers could become for our digital world. The day they get this power even has a name, and on that day, the world as we know it changes forever. Every password, every bank account, and every government secret could become vulnerable. The question is no longer if this day will come, but when. And experts warn it's closer than any of us are prepared for. Our digital fortress. The age of unbreakable locks. To really get the scale of this threat, we first need to understand the incredible strength of the defenses we use every single day. When you see that little padlock in your browser, use your credit card online, or send a secure message, you're using something called public key cryptography. The two giants in this field are RSA and elliptic curve cryptography, or ECC. These aren't just clever bits of code. They're mathematical wonders. Their security doesn't come from hiding the lock. It comes from creating a lock that is practically impossible for any normal computer to pick, no matter how powerful it is. Here's a simple way to think about it. Imagine you have two huge prime numbers. Multiplying them is easy. A calculator can do it in a split second. But what if you only had the gigantic result and were asked to find the two original prime numbers? That's called integer factorization, and it's the puzzle at the heart of RSA encryption. For a classical computer, this is a nightmare. It's like trying to unscramble an egg. For the 2048-bit numbers that protect our most sensitive data, the world's most powerful supercomputers would need to run for billions, maybe even trillions, of years to find the answer. That's older than the known universe. This incredible difficulty isn't a flaw. It's the whole point. We've built our global digital world on the belief that this math problem is, for all practical purposes, unsolvable. We give everyone a public key to lock a message, but only we, with a private key, can unlock it. This is the foundation of all digital trust. It secures trillions of dollars in financial transactions, protects military and state secrets, and guards your personal identity online. We've built a fortress with walls so high we thought they were eternal. We bet that no machine would ever come along that thinks in a fundamentally different way, that sees our unsolvable problem as trivial. We bet wrong. The monster in the machine. What is a quantum computer? To understand the machine that could bring our fortress down, we have to leave the familiar world of classical computing and step into the bizarre, counterintuitive realm of quantum mechanics. A classical computer, the one in your phone or on your desk, is built on a simple idea. Everything is a bit, which can be either a 0 or a 1. It is a light switch, either on or off. All the amazing things computers do are just the result of stringing together billions of these simple on or off switches. They're incredibly fast and logical, but they're stuck with this basic rule. One bit, one state at a time. A quantum computer is a completely different beast. It's built on the laws of physics that run the universe at the tiniest subatomic levels, a place where the rules of our everyday world just don't apply. The basic unit here isn't a bit, but a qubit. And a qubit isn't just an on or off switch. Thanks to a quantum trick called superposition, a qubit can be a 0, a 1, or both at the same time. Think of a spinning coin. While it's in the air, it's not heads and it's not tails. It's a mix of both possibilities. Only when it lands, when we measure it, does it pick a side. A qubit is like that spinning coin, existing in a rich space of possibilities. This alone is a huge leap. But qubits have another, even stranger, power called entanglement. When two qubits are entangled, their fates are linked, no matter how far apart they are. If you measure one and see it's a 0, you instantly know the other is a 1. Einstein famously called this spooky action at a distance, because it seems to break our understanding of space and time. So, what does this all mean? A classical computer with 3 bits can only show one of 8 possible combinations at a time. A quantum computer with 3 qubits can represent all 8 of those combinations at once. As you add more qubits, this power grows exponentially. A machine with just 300 entangled qubits could hold more possible values than there are atoms in the known universe. This isn't just about being faster. A quantum computer doesn't just try every key on a keychain, only quicker. It operates in a way that lets it see the hidden structure of a problem and find the right key almost instantly. It fundamentally changes the game of computation. And back in 1994, a mathematician named Peter Shor found the perfect problem for this new kind of machine to solve. The master key, how Shor's algorithm breaks encryption for decades. The mathematical fortress of RSA encryption was untouchable. The lock was built on a problem so hard it seemed like a law of nature. But then Peter Shor, a researcher at Bell Labs, found a hidden back door. He didn't just find a faster way for classical computers to guess the answer. He created a whole new recipe, one that only a quantum computer could follow. That recipe is known as Shor's algorithm. Calling it a breakthrough is an understatement. It was a seismic shock to the worlds of math and computer science. The algorithm brilliantly turns the problem of factoring a huge number into a totally different kind of problem, finding the repeating pattern, or period, of a special function. The deep math is mind-bending, but here's the basic idea. Imagine trying to find a hidden, repeating pattern in a massive, chaotic string of numbers. A classical computer would have to check each number one by one, a painfully slow process. Shor's algorithm on a quantum computer can essentially look at the entire string of numbers at once. Using superposition and a technique called the quantum Fourier transform, it analyzes all the possible patterns simultaneously. It doesn't find the pattern by stumbling on it. It uses the physics of quantum interference to make the wrong patterns cancel each other out, while the right pattern gets stronger and emerges from the noise like a clear signal. The result, a task that would take a classical supercomputer trillions of years, could be done by a powerful enough quantum computer in just hours or minutes. Shor's algorithm is the master key, a specific tool designed to dismantle the foundations of RSA and ECC, the 2 pillars of modern online security. And it's not alone. Another quantum tool, Grover's algorithm, also poses a threat, though a less dramatic one. It targets symmetric encryption, like AES, which is used to protect data stored on hard drives, while Shor's completely shatters public key systems. Grover's algorithm basically halves the key strength of symmetric ones. This means a super-secure AES 256 key would only offer the protection of a 128-bit key against a quantum attacker, serious downgrade, but one that can be fixed by just using longer keys. The threat from Shor's algorithm, however, can't be patched, so it doesn't just weaken the lock, it breaks it wide open. The fallout, a world without secrets. The moment a quantum computer capable of running Shor's algorithm becomes a reality is what we call coup-day. It represents a cryptographic doomsday, a point of no return where the digital world as we know it becomes fundamentally insecure. It's hard to overstate the consequences. This wouldn't be a single hack. It would be a total failure of trust across all of society. The financial system could descend into chaos. An attacker could forge digital signatures, letting them authorize fake transactions on a massive scale, drain bank accounts, and crash markets. The integrity of the global financial network could vanish overnight. Governments and militaries would be exposed. Decades of classified intelligence, diplomatic cables, and military plans, all stored behind the unbreakable wall of encryption, would become an open book. The balance of global power could shift in an instant. Corporate secrets, the engine of innovation, would be plundered. Trade secrets, patented formulas, and R&D data worth trillions could be stolen without a trace. And for us, the very idea of digital privacy would disappear. Every private email, every direct message, every health record, every password you've ever saved, all of it could be decrypted and laid bare. But the most chilling part of the quantum threat is that, in a way, it's already started. There's a strategy known as harvest now, decrypt later. Adversaries, whether they're rival nations or criminal groups, aren't waiting for coup-day. They are actively intercepting and storing huge amounts of encrypted data right now. Today, that data is safe, it's just gibberish. But these adversaries are playing the long game. They're building massive libraries of stolen secrets, patiently waiting for the day they get a quantum computer that can run Shor's algorithm. On that day, they'll have the key to unlock years, or even decades, of the world's most sensitive information. Every piece of data we encrypt today with vulnerable methods is a ticking time bomb. The data you send today could be read in 2035. This turns the quantum threat from a distant, abstract problem into an urgent, present-day crisis. The hope. The race for quantum-resistant encryption. The picture might seem bleak, but the story isn't over. The same scientists and cryptographers who saw this threat coming are in a frantic race against time to build new defenses. They aren't just trying to make the old locks stronger, they're redesigning entirely new kinds of locks, based on different mathematical problems that are believed to be hard for both classical and quantum computers to solve. This new frontier is called post-quantum cryptography, or PQC. For years, NIST has been running a global competition to find and standardize the next generation of quantum-resistant algorithms. After a multi-year process, NIST has started announcing the winners. In August 2024, they published the first set of finalized standards, including algorithms with names like crystals Kyber and crystals dilithium. In March 2025, they added another called HQC to ensure there are diverse mathematical approaches. These new PQC algorithms aren't based on factoring numbers like RSAs. Instead, they get their security from other complex mathematical fields, like lattice-based cryptography, which involves finding specific points in a high-dimensional grid. These are problems that researchers feel confident will remain tough for any computer to solve. The transition to this new standard will be one of the biggest and most difficult tech migrations in history. It means updating everything, from the software on servers to the firmware embedded in our devices. Every website, every app, every piece of critical infrastructure using public key cryptography will need an upgrade. The timeline is tight. NIST has suggested organizations should phase out vulnerable systems after 2030 and ban their use entirely after 2035. Some predictions for when a quantum computer could break our current encryption range from the early 2030s to even sooner, with some analysts pointing to 2030 as a plausible date. The urgency is real. Organizations are being pushed to start now. The first step is creating a crypto inventory, figuring out every system that relies on vulnerable algorithms. From there, they have to plan a migration to the new NIST-approved standards. For a while, many will likely use a hybrid approach, combining an old algorithm with a new post-quantum one to stay secure no matter what happens. It's a huge undertaking, but it's a necessary one. The race is on. A race to replace the foundations of our digital world, before the monster at the gates finally figures out how to tear them down. The quantum age is here. These incredible machines promise to revolutionize medicine, science, and AI. But that great promise comes with a great danger. The same power that could cure diseases could also unleash chaos by shattering the very trust that underpins our global society. The threat isn't theoretical anymore. Coup is no longer a question of if but when, and the timeline is shrinking. The harvest now, decrypt later strategy means our data from today is already at risk tomorrow. We're in a high-stakes race between the builders of quantum computers and the designers of our new digital defenses. The security of our future hangs in the balance. This is a story about more than just technology. It's about whether we can anticipate and manage the disruptive power of our own creations. The silent, invisible fortress protecting our world is facing its greatest challenge, and the work to build its replacement has never been more urgent. The world of quantum computing is moving at an incredible speed, and it's going to reshape our world in ways we can't even imagine yet. What do you think is the biggest promise, or the biggest threat, of this new technology? Let us know your thoughts in the comments below. And if you want to stay ahead of the curve on the technologies defining our future, make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications. Thanks for watching.